to my channel and to another episode of Flute Life with Katie Flute. So in today's video, I'm going to be trying the 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour challenge. So for those of you who don't know, how this works is you pick a part of a piece, you practice it for 1 minute, try to perform it, and then do the same with 10 minutes of practice and 1 hour of practice. So the piece that I chose is the Reinecke Concerto, and I picked a part of the third movement that I thought would not be too hard, but also not too easy. So hopefully, let's see how it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna start the timer for 1 minute, try to practice as much as I can, get as much done as possible in that 1 minute, and then try to play it. That's 1 minute. Let's see how this goes. That didn't go as bad as I thought it would, you know, all things considered. Now I get 10 minutes. Let's see what I can do. I'm gonna try to think before I just start. You know, like you should when you're practicing, when you're doing some organized practice. Okay, so the beginning, what went wrong? I think that what I'm gonna do, since a lot of this repeats, for example, since towards the end, this is really the same material that we had in the beginning, I think I'm going to try in this 10 minutes to focus on the beginning and then also this part over here because this is a little noodly. Okay, so 10 minutes on the clock, let's go. the timer. Okay. I honestly don't think I did that much more here. Obviously, I would never try to practice this big of a section in 10 minutes, so just a disclaimer, don't do that. You're gonna waste your time, but let's see how much I was able to accomplish, if anything. Much better. But now the real work begins. Let's try to get this as solid as possible in the next hour. So I think my strategy here, now that I have a solid hour, is going to be to work slowly on the beginning section with the metronome just going up a few clicks at a time. If you've seen my 5 practice method video, you know that that is one of the ways that I like to practice and that I practice often, but I think it works best when you have a bigger time period if you do it over the course of like a week or several weeks. But I don't have all the time in the world, but I think that that's still going to be more useful than just trying to keep playing through and making mistakes. And then, breaking things down into smaller chunks, using some rhythms. The second page is more difficult, and I think for the sake of time, some of the measures that are just more simple, with just eighth notes and this dotted half notes and all that, I think I'm just gonna have to make sure I can read the notes and then kind of let it go and work on the parts that are just more involved with more notes. Okay, so before we begin this process, I'm having some doubts about this addition that I found on IMSLP, and I just want to make sure that I'm looking at the right thing. So I do have the Reinecke Concerto. I learned the first movement at one point, kind of sloppily. The amount of sheet music that I have that I've never used, I've never learned or performed. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else can relate to that. Okay, so there's more than a few differences with the articulation between these editions, and also there's a flat missing on one of the trills. So I think I'm gonna just read from the paper. Don't need my blue light glasses. Old-fashioned way. Gotta get my Hello Kitty pencil, sparkly eraser. Okay, let's get to work. So I'm gonna put some markings in, and I think this should really count towards my hour, so here we go. Still too fast because I'm making mistakes. Okay. little faster. It's really hard to make that measure feel stable, I think, because of the articulation with the da-ka da da-ka da da ta ta-ka ta ta-ka da da-ka da da ta da 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 da-ka da da-ka da da-ka da da da-ka da da ta da ta. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. I think we're making okay progress. So I'm going to break this down into one section and do the same thing. So slow with the metronome, then working my way up. To put my B flat thumb key on, off, thumb, off, get it together. But it felt like I was kind of hanging on for dear life. Didn't feel super secure, but I think in the interest of time, we're gonna have to move on. 33 minutes left. Glanced over this part earlier because I was like, ooh, 16th notes. Need to practice those. And now this is coming back to haunt me. 18 minutes. Okay. It's too fast. It's really difficult to move from this E flat to G flat. Just the coordination of that. I might just have to, take some not very tasteful rubato there because it's difficult. Is it purposeful, musical, phrase-serving rubato? Or did I not practice? 10 more minutes. I really am trying to resist the temptation to just play through. Okay, well, let's try. I think that the game plan is going to be look ahead with my eyes as much as possible so I don't get stuck anywhere, anytime. So that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to go. It maybe definitely could use some more refined work on small details, and some of the notes weren't exactly how I wanted them to sound. As far as wrong notes, the main one that stood out to me was that measure that I was struggling with before. I think that leading up to it, the measure before, those triplets just kind of feel like they come out of nowhere, and maybe I got a little too excited and energetic and I just lost it. But other than that, I don't think it's too shabby for just an hour. Well, I guess 71 minutes of practice. I'd love to have another try at that measure. Definitely, if I were actually performing this, I would go much slower, working on smaller chunks. You know, I'm not bumping the tempo up to performance tempo on the first day. But this was a really fun challenge, so if there are any other pieces that you want me to try this on, leave them in the comments below. I know that I had over on my community tab a place where you guys could give suggestions, and this was one of the pieces that was suggested. I would like to do a piece that I haven't played before, like this one. I guess it could also work though with a piece that I haven't played in a long time. Like I know someone suggested Carmen Fantasy. It's been a hot minute since I've tried to play that, so that could be interesting to kind of see if I can bring something back to a higher level in only that amount of time. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching and for being here. If you did like this video and you want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my future videos. Also, go follow me over on Instagram and over on TikTok. I know. I said TikTok. Just another millennial on TikTok. So thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.